I had no idea that you were going to use that as the intro to our first podcast.
Beautiful stuff.
Okay, yeah, turn it off. I sent you that in private and said don't share it. And obviously you listened and I'm not upset by it in any way, but
yeah, apparently I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
Or I was listening and I didn't hear.
Yeah, and what else is new? So
I heard it was beautiful, and there you go.
So one of us is supposed to do an introduction, and most of you, I hope, or if you're stumbling upon me, know who I am. And the man who is with me is a childhood friend. He likes to say 40 years. I think it's actually more.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, because we started out at grade school level. And like most boys, we got in trouble. We did a lot of dumb things, but we also had a lot of spiritual moments. And it drove us back around full circle to this moment where now we are reunited. And he always had a humongous head, and luckily he grew into it. But I had no idea that his head was so big because he was filled with so much knowledge when it comes to the tech side, insurance, and if you want to run a Pizza Hut, yeah, this is your guy. You can do it. And so it's one of the few times that maybe Facebook works out for you, because we were able to see each other. We didn't really pay attention. And I'm not saying over the 40 years that we were friends the whole entire time. We've even discussed on his podcast that sometimes he was living literally across the apartment complex from where I was at. And we didn't want anything to do with each other. We were just like, meh. But
yeah. But we had our growing up lives to live, we thought.
Exactly.
We thought we had to put down childish things, so to speak. But now, how wrong were we?
And now, the only thing I know about that is maybe now that's the same exact thing. Just because you and I are like 48 years old doesn't mean that anything has changed.
True.
But all that aside, I would like to introduce you to my lifelong friend, which there will be many more stories to come.
Hello.
Mr. Jeffrey, with a G.
Jeffrey with a G.
Adams.
Hi there. My Hawaiian name is Keopele Kalani. So you can call me Kiki. I don't know. What's with the K's? I went with Sinatra as the handle for the last name, which is Kealani, and then Keopele for Jeffrey. I kind of like them. I meant to go out and buy some puka shells for tonight's show. I did happen to find a Tommy Bahama square cut Hawaiian print shirt. That's not tacky at all. It's very subtle. If you're going to spend $100 on a shirt, it should be subtle if it's Hawaiian.
I'm wearing a LIVIN
11.
That there is only one of these in the world.
How'd you make it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know.
I recommend that everybody else does the same. If something resonates, go for it. But let's cut all of that. Let's get into the Q&A because this is just the introduction. If it goes well, we hope to do more.
Yeah. I'll be in the back. I'll be in the background doing the thing. If you want to mention Facebook, I have a presence there.
Oh, yeah. So for the Facebook group, this guy's okay.
I'm all right.
I don't know any other way to say it. I'm not that tech savvy, and he is now an admin. So I guess that means something.
I only have 2 guitars and no 5 chords.
What do you do with 5 chords?
I don't know, 7 chords, 7.
I only know 4.
Isn't that all you need to play rock and roll?
Not to completely slide off base, but if you are on Netflix, it's been in my queue for over a year. Ordinary World with Billy Joe, the guy from Green Day.
Billy Joe Armstrong.
Great movie. For me, maybe not for everybody. So anyway, but off topic. Switch it back. Let's go.
All right.
What's Q&A, Jeff?
So we've got some Q&A since this is season 1, episode 1, show 1, ground floor. I'm going to ask some basic questions because we don't want to leave out newcomers or novices. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. Sure.
Question number 1. How do you pronounce this word that looks like hippopotamus to me?
That's funny, man. That's funny. Ho'oponopono. And yes, that is the biggest problem with Ho'oponopono, because if you are in the rest of the world, whether it be Canada or Australia or America or Asia or everywhere else, it's like, yeah, it's Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono.
And don't feel bad if you can't pronounce it, because it has nothing to do with the practice.
Fair enough.
It does eventually, and you will get it. And even if you go back to reading Zero Limits by Dr. Lounge, he actually never writes Ho'oponopono completely on purpose. He just writes Hoa something, Hoa whata, Hoa blah, 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 blah.
Really?
And yeah, it's in the book. It's in Zero Limits.
So is he saying that? I don't think he did anything unconsciously. So it was a conscious way of stating that the power is not in the word? Or is it holding the word to be sacred and therefore not disclosing or writing the word in its totality?
No, I think it was just the confusion of the word, because in order to practice Ho'oponopono, you do not have to be Hawaiian. I am not Hawaiian. I have never been to Hawaii. I probably will at some point in time, but it's not where I'm at. So I think that is just having the reality of it's for everybody. And once you dig into it, you're gonna, I don't like to say this, but there's an entry level, and then if you want to go deeper, you can. But
so for those who need a little refresher, can you briefly define what is the entry level? There, I know there's mantra.
You can also just function on the entry level, and you can be happy.
Okay.
That's fine. That's fine.
Words that we would use and repeat that have meaning, like what all constitutes that entry level thing? What do you have to know in order to participate?
That's a great question. Okay. So the day that I found out about it, this is what happened. I walked into a place that I go to that gives me an adjustment. I was actually there today, called Alphabiotic, by a woman. And she said, "Have you heard about this Ho'oponopono?" And I said, "No." And she goes, "All you have to do is say, Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Thank you. I love you. And I was like, I don't get it. I don't understand. How? Why? What?
And who am I saying this to?
Yeah. So now I'm confused. And she goes, and people who go have to sign a waiver. This is the part that I really got confused on. They have to sign a waiver that says that they will never teach it because they only wanted certified teachers. So I ran out of there. I had written it down, went to the nearest bookstore, which was like a Borders Books or something like that, and they couldn't find the book. They were like, we don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, book's called Zero Limits, blah, 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 blah.
It's a hippopotamus story.
Yeah. And the problem is it was not in spiritual or self-help or anything like that. It was in marketing, because Joe Vitale is known as a marketer, not by any fault of his own, but as publisher, that's what they did. But I found the book and I didn't care what it cost. Picked it up, bought it right there. And at that time, was also carrying my daughter in that little...
Oh, yeah, the car seat bassinet thing.
Yeah, that locks in and does all that stuff. And that was the beginning of the journey for me. I don't know if that answers.
How did you feel? You go to your adjuster. She whispers the secret in your ear, so to speak. She gives you the danger that goes with it. You got to sign a waiver. You can't give away the secrets. That makes it even more compelling. She's already given you the general connection to the universe and then admonished you. Don't tell anyone. Man, it's going to light you on fire. And then you get to the bookstore and you got your daughter with you. You got to feel like you're, I don't know, climbing Mount Everest. You're like, you don't know what lies in store, but it feels like it's something you're supposed to pursue. And then you can't find it. And then they find it in the wrong spot. And you're like, it was meant to be. Like, it was meant to be. Now I have it. Like, when you got that in your arms and you're going home, or whenever you cracked that book open and started to learn more about it, what was that experience like?
And you know that I don't read very well. I'm more of an audible guy because I have dyslexia, so it's difficult for me to read books. That is a book that I did read. So when I read, sometimes I have to read a whole entire paragraph or a page and then come back to it and read it again, because I realized that I just drifted off and started thinking about Star Wars. Yeah, there's an intrigue there, definitely. Knowing marketing as well as I do, right. I know that there is an intrigue, that it was forbidden, like you want to get in on it. But it took me 6 months to read the book that most people would read in a week.
Yeah, I read it in a few hours.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for making me feel good.
But I've read thousands of books, so I can't pick up a guitar and make music with it.
I can't
look at a block of wood and see the duck within it. You know what I mean? I'm not wired abstractly like that. So yeah, data, which is why this whole data thing is intriguing to me. And suddenly the last year and a half of conversations you and I have had starts to come into focus as to why you would challenge me and ask me certain questions and ask me, why do I believe certain things I believe, or how do I define myself? Who am I? All that stuff, I had no idea where it came from. To me, it was just Matthew. It's always been Matthew. That's how you talk to me. But then I started to see the influence. And only having opened the book and read it maybe a week and a half ago, my jaw dropped. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh.
Compelling and rich, Matthew. Compelling and rich. Now I understand. I wouldn't say understand. Now I see.
Yeah, I didn't even know you were reading that. That's great.
So, did you buy into it right away? Did you believe that there was power in the words? Did you believe that this was tied to something meaningful? Or did you go into it with a questioning mind of convince me? Let's see.
Absolutely not. I had been raised under metaphysics, and then I denounced everything for a while when I was young. And then I found Rastafari, which made sense to me. And I still accept Rastafari. It's very much like Ho'oponopono, but there's
What about
some other things there that are weird.
the Emperor of Ethiopia being the embodied God on earth?
Haile Selassie.
Yeah,
Yeah, Haile Selassie.
I and I.
Yeah, and it's just, it's a little too publicized and a little bit too much there. So, getting back into accepting and finding these things and finding your path. I assume everybody goes through this. It's just kind of how your life leads you. It's just a path. That's okay. And I had a question that I haven't actually responded to, Facebook group, because I think the man took it the wrong way. He was talking about, you say that there is no wrong way to do this, then why should we do anything else other than read books and something? I didn't have a response for it yet. I'm still waiting. Maybe this is the response right now, but when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, yeah, exactly. You don't need me. You don't need whoever, because once you figure out that everything is a reflection, everything is a source, then you're done. And then from there, you move to the next level.
Well, there has to be an acceptance of what is. And the question, I believe the question was posed, like, is the order of how you repeat your mantra, people do it differently. Some people say, I love you, please forgive me. Hold on, I know.
Yeah, and there's
Thank you, I'm sorry.
That's the nice thing about the mantra is, and I even I did a recording with the focus where I put it in every possible combination I could think of. For me, it's always, please forgive me, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you. Bam, done. I got it. When I need it, it's there. Every single day, when I have to call to it, it's there. I know it. It becomes even not a 4-phrase mantra, it becomes a mantra of its own being. And Focus did it in all different types of directions just to make it work out. Because you can say it any way you want to. And this kind of goes back to, hey, you said there's no way to make a mistake. But that is the one thing that I run into with when I'm dealing with my clients and things like that. They come in and they ask a question. I try to help. And then they say, am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? You can't do it wrong. Fine. Don't just settle down. Don't worry about it. You're fine.
There's a piece that I maybe prefaces the mantra, which is responsibility.
Oh,
you have to start with the responsibility. What does that mean? And then how does that now play into utilizing that mantra in order to ask the universe to help you clean?
Oh, look, our time's up. We have to cut off now. No.
It's a big question, right?
Jeffrey, I knew you were going to be a problem. No, it's good.
I like that part. The responsibility. It's unique.
It's likable, but very difficult to accept. So I'm gonna push us off to a story that Dr. Len told me, which was, he used to go for walks. And when he was walking, every tree he would touch it. He would do ice blue. But then he said, as soon as I did that, sometimes somebody would scream around the corner in their car, almost hit me, almost kill me. And I would scream, asshole, which shocks everybody, because it's like, aren't you supposed to be the spiritual person? How can you say asshole? He said, after that moment, I would think, oh, it's not him, it's me. And that is what 100% responsibility comes down to.
Oh, okay, I'm tracking.
And I'm not claiming that I can do it. And he wasn't claiming he could do it. It's just something that we try to practice.
Wow.
What's going on?
Oh, I'm just underwater. Every time he'd come around the corner, and then he would yell and scream at them, and then he realized it's not them, it's him.
No, just one occasion. It's not like the same person came around the corner every single time.
Well, he always liked to touch the trees.
Oh yeah, ice blue. Yeah,
ice blue.
Yeah, and I've had my daughter Angelica doing that from day one.
Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just touching.
You just put your hand to the tree and say ice blue. That is one of the greatest cleaning things that you can do. It doesn't even have to have a premise. You do it. You do it, keeps you focused, and it cleans.
Wow. I think we probably have time for one last question, and this was a question from Facebook. Cleansing can be exhausting. This person wanted to know, how can I take a break and still be cleaning? Is it possible?
Okay, that's a great question.
She feels like there's a lot of cleaning to do. There's a lot to do, and she shouldn't stop. But she's getting worn out. She feels she needs to know if it's like, how do you keep pushing that cleaning forward and maybe not be so incredibly active with it?
I have had private clients that have come in full throttle, just I'm doing the meditations, I'm doing this, I'm listening to this, and honestly, the first thing I tell them is, stop doing everything. Get clear. Look for that moment of silence. Because if you are, as human beings, we tend to go into a state of really thinking that we can push the easy button and we can get things done. Like, where is it? That's what they sell you all the time. And I'm no excuse. I am, because I don't think that way, but I know that the things that I produce look that way. And I'm amongst the plethora of things that are out there. So the idea is, take a step back, slow down, and wait for the divine to give you the answer. Because it'll come. And if you don't like the word divine, you can use the word God, or you can I love the word Michael J. Fox. I always throw that in there. Only because I read his book. I didn't even read it. It was on audio. It was given to me back when CDs existed.
Oh, yeah.
But just wait for the flow. And the thing is, the flow doesn't come when you think it's going to. The flow comes when it comes. So you can just, hey, relax for a while. This is your moment to relax.
All right. You're trying too hard.
Yes.
Step back. And I think maybe it's common when people are praying, and they're praying and praying and praying and praying, and they're like, how I can't be more humble. I can't be more in tune with God right now, but he's not talking back, and I want to hear the answer. I want to know. And it's really like, stop praying. Like, it's just give it a moment.
Yeah, that is a perfect example, because that is exactly what has to happen. It doesn't matter if you're Catholic or Christian or Ho'oponopono or Buddhist or Muslim. We're all going to the same place, people. Just pick your path. I hate to say it, but that's it. And I know we only have one question, but there was one other question, because there was one person who didn't follow the directions, calling me out right now, and wrote under the post, and I'm trying to remember, it was something about cleaning on a house with dead people, right?
Yeah, cleaning on a house that people had died in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was a question.
So let's wrap it up with that one. That's a tough one. That's difficult, because I don't have a whole lot of information there. What I'm thinking right off the bat is, if you're truly practicing Ho'oponopono, you're probably overthinking this a little bit. And I don't know if the people in the house that died were somebody you knew, a family member. It could have been a suicide. It could have been murder, which, by the way, all of that is just data. That's all it is. And that's what we're cleaning on.
The details are the data.
Yeah, pretty much. So the question is, you want to clean on the house. And blame sinners. Talk to the house.
Yes, I remember reading that about talking to the chairs and talking to the ballroom and talking to the space.
Talk to the house. The house will tell you. I don't know where this house is. I don't know what the experience was. It's obviously in my world now because of what we've opened up here, but yeah, that's it.
Talk to the house. But no one's ever done that.
Oh no, lots of people have done that.
I don't mean in history, but maybe this.
Oh, in this specific
this
house.
person's, or this person's.
Yeah,
view,
and
this house specifically. Yeah.
This house experienced obviously a lot of trauma. So talk to the house. And the only thing I can say about that is if you present a question and you hear a voice in your head that comes back, don't discard it. It's real. It's there for a reason. You don't have to tell your friends and all that stuff. Just realize that that was a little communication that happened at that moment. Just that one moment.
Interesting. Comes back to you have to listen.
And there is a lot of static, especially now.
Fascinating. Good stuff.
All right.
Wow. That's the show. PLM Podcast stands for Peace, Love, and Music. I'd like to thank the host, the most, Guitar Monk Matthew. Appreciate it. Appreciate the background. Also appreciate some insight that's going to give me quite a bit to ponder and focus on. So appreciate that. If you guys have any questions, if you want to be included in the show next week, the Ho'oponopono Cleaning Group on Facebook, if you're not already a part of it, please come join us. You can drop questions in there all day, every day. We'll keep track of them and we'll do our best to get them answered for you. So with that, Guitar Monk, last word, Shaka. Nice. I'll take it.